How's it going?
Not bad. How are you today?
Here. Yeah,
Oh, be weird
I
if you're
am.
somewhere else. How would I
Yeah,
talk to you there if you're not there?
the magic of the internet, we would find a way.
You'd have
Everywhere you
a
go,
backdrop.
there you are.
You'd have a backdrop of your place like Chris uses, but you're not there.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that would be a nice psych out one time, wouldn't it? Just put the picture up there and, disable the camera.
Just have like a corner of the green screen, you know, fall down, and you can see the sandy beaches behind you. Oops, hold on, let me fix that.
Yeah, that would be good too. I was never here. You never really knew. It was always a hologram. Actually, it was the cat who has settled right here. I wonder how long that's going to last.
What game is on the docket for today? Is it Cyberpunk or?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Cyberpunk. Hey, but that's assuming, when folks wander in, normally see one or two at this point. Although I do see the Chris's on roll 20, so I guess we'll see them here in a minute.
Gotcha. Yeah, I always let John Cedric know about Cyberpunk Day, but because of his schedule, since he started working third shift, even if he's not working, he's usually not paying attention.
Yeah, totally understandable. And besides, he lives on. I am the slaw. So
Right. See, I thought it was kind of funny because my character has henchmen as part of their main mechanic or whatever. You
okay,
know what I mean?
so he's your henchman, right? Okay, got it.
And I kind of didn't want to have to deal with keeping track of multiple people, so I just ignored that part of my mechanic. Then I
Yep,
ended up having him anyway. I'm like, oh, okay,
that works. Works pretty well, actually. Howdy, Steven.
Greetings.
So how goes it by you today?
I spent an inordinate amount of time. There was I needed a few copper. So, of course, I went to go get a whole node. I found conjoined nodes of copper. It's huge, but it's
Really?
also intermixed with another stone. And trying to pick through that has been a nightmare.
Huh, interesting. Conjoined copper nodes. Who'd have thunk?
I've got over 100 of that. And it's a straight shot from my house. Just down the shore a ways.
Cool. No, I haven't really been able to find much time for or energy really for gaming during the week this week. Ended up basically sleeping all day, or recovering, I should say.
Yeah. Mordred had a little cove that she pulled her boat into, but and so it was it was a task to get her boat out into the water. This is just trying to get out of the mist. And
were you recovering from work or from being sick?
Well, not work.
Okay, gotcha.
Reasonably long hours and just not as young as I used to be. I used to be able to do 10 or 12 hours and there's no sweat.
Need a stronger antiperspirant now?
Yeah. And you wouldn't think that would be a problem since you work from home, right? So
Yeah, I normally sleep late on Saturdays to catch up for the sleep I lost throughout the week. But I had one of those ramp builds this morning, so I'm all beat up right now.
I hear you. I think next weekend's going to be like that for me. I might actually skip DMing because it's going to be one of those things. You got like two projects and all of a sudden they're converging, and have to, deadline for one is Friday and the deadline for the next is the following Tuesday.
Hey, Chris.
Howdy, Chris.
I was had my head in the roll 20 trying to buy some better armor.
Yeah, we could all use that.
Yeah, so
Hey, buddy. What's up there? Okay.
that's kind of where I've got my head at the moment, and they're digging in that.
I understood.
Logan's here with me tonight, so
Well, howdy. And howdy, Miss Pegg.
Hey, folks.
The look on his face says he can't hear. Quick, make up things about him.
Pandora's got the headphones. That's what it is. Well, this is funny. The Oracle's actually watching Pandora on screen over there. It's like, what? What's that?
Oh, mama.
No, seriously, he's very transfixed. You know, when the tail went away, he looked away. But when the tail was there wagging the screen, he looked back over at it.
I could hear him for a second.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the library background that gives him such an intense look.
You will learn.
Kind of studious, you know what I mean?
He would say you had him at stud.
How's your internet doing, Chris? With that
Oh,
stuttering?
It still sucks ass.
That's
I
a little-
got a new router, but it helps some, but it hasn't alleviated the problem.
The problem's just not inside. So
Yeah, it's still down the road somewhere. We've tracked that down. It's not in the house. It's not between here and the pole. It's somewhere between the pole and the road. I have been informed that Terry Mitchell has fiber at his house. He just lives for a little further down the road here.
So you're gonna move in with Terry?
No, I may move up to fiber if it's available. I didn't think it was available out here. That may be a recent development.
Might be a nice place to live with Terry. I don't know.
I don't. Now, this was a couple of years ago, but I know where he's getting his fiber from, and at the time there weren't any plans to extend it further.
Yeah,
But that was, like I say, a couple of years ago. So,
I don't know. I figured
and howdy,
he's muted.
Yep.
Hello.
Hello. So how goes?
Oh, not too bad.
So how far from Terry's house, and can you run land cable that long?
I'm not exactly sure. I was just given this information through Thomas, so I don't know.
They were talking about apparently Terry Mitchell has EPON now, and Terry didn't live too far from Chris there.
Okay.
I didn't think it was available right here when we moved across the road, but it may be something to look into. If it is out here, maybe that'll bypass my network issue.
What is EPON?
Ethernet Passive Optical Network. It is a fiber technology that allows the transmission of data using a single fiber. As you're probably aware, normal fiber circuits are have two fibers, one for each direction. So EPON, and shut me up if I'm going on, because you just hit on one of my, hey, cool, networking. Somebody asked a networking question.
I hadn't heard that acronym before, so I thought it was the name of the company.
No, it's when you talk about fiber to the home, that's probably the most common technology used. They just use a single fiber and splice it in to a longer fiber, not loop, but branch, call it a frond or whatever you want to call it, that connects up to, depending on the tech, 64 homes on that single fiber frond. You know, each of the homes has a bit of fiber spliced into it, and that splits off of the main. So they're all on that same, essentially one long fiber connectivity. And it's shared bandwidth in that. The technology works like this. It's a 10 gigabit connection, but only one of those various shared devices can transmit at once. So they time share, time division multiplexing. So most of the bandwidth's taken up by the downstream, but every once in a while, the controller will say, okay, great, unit one, Terry Mitchell, you can transmit for this slice of time to send me upstream data, then stop. And that happens. And then more downstream happens. And then it says, okay, everybody stop. Now, Chris Meeks, you can send upstream data for this amount of time. It does, then he does, and then stop. And it just goes all around like that. So quickly, nobody notices. They think they had just their own little fiber to the network. So it's a cool tech. You know, I like playing with it. I remember having some training techs and some of our CSRs on it. And kind of the most memorable piece to me of the training was having to kind of drill into people that even though the energy level's low, you know, it's designed so that it's not going to cause harm, but you have to drill it into people. Do not look at the fiber.
Yeah.
Don't point it at your face and expect to see a light. That's not going to happen. What might happen is you go blind. You know,
Yeah.
it's infrared. So yeah, don't look at the damn fiber. Yeah.
Don't cross the streams. Good
Yeah,
safe.
no kidding.
Oh, you got
Fun times. And in fact, poor E there has been wrestling with that particular thing all week. You know, some midnight maintenance cycles, he said, which I do not miss.
yeah.
So what is
Since
the
we get
a company near Chris that has fiber to Terry?
FPU.
I think he's on AT&T, but if everybody uses the same network around here, so
I don't think AT&T's built out fiber in the county, but
I don't know how much truth there is to any of it. It's just hearsay I got from Thomas.
that would be really interesting if they have, though.
What
Right.
did Thomas charge you for this hearsay?
No, he did help me install the new router, but
A vial of blood. Yeah, that's normal charge.
I thought he had a vial of all of your blood samples already.
He likes to get more.
Yeah.
He can't trust that first sample, right?
that'll only cost you either unicorn steaks or chocolate covered fairies.
Mm-hmm.
Pegg transmit something. I see you're unmuted. Let's see if you're working. Okay.
No.
We heard you briefly. We just didn't know if it was fixed. At least that tells us he's hearing us.
Yep. So since we have most everybody, I've got probably going to be working next weekend. So E, if you're prepared, would you go ahead and plan on running your game? And we'll try to do a track like game week after that.
Okay.
Assuming not working that weekend too. So
Sorry, my privacy cover keeps falling over my camera.
Well, we read you now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
arrow sensitive camera. There you go.
Son of a. I'm gonna do magic tricks. I'm just gonna take it off at this point. My cat knocked it off. I think she broke the latch that keeps it secure. This is one of those little cheap snap-on ones. Okay, I don't think it's gonna fall now. Yeah, no. I don't know what was.
Does it just say like incognito across the top when you flip it down?
No, I need to. I need to do that. No, but what was happening earlier was I was charging up this headset earlier today, took it off, turned it on. It was almost like it couldn't pair for some weird reason, but I mean, it's not like the receiver's like not even a foot away from me, so weird. But let me adjust this. Let's see.
Oh, can't come on, man. What are you doing? No, we're not wrestling right here. No, sir. No, sir. That's what he wants to do. All right.
I may jinx it. My cat may come up here. And
Oh, all right. We're gonna wrestle.
also, I spent most of the day going back through all of my minion character sheets to make sure none of them were messed up. One had negatives that didn't need to have negatives to their stats. One was double its stats.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Maybe
like-
that explains why he had so much trouble.
well, one that you went up against should have had negatives to them because they had heavy armor jack, which is -2 to reflex, dex, and move, but it didn't. So they're going full hard mode. So I've gone through. Also, I don't know if it'll come out on your end, but their Roll20 had some free additions to the compendium, some new cyberware and weapons of the like. So I have no idea if that will transfer over to what y'all use. So there are some extra goodies floating out there in cyberspace.
Yeah, they are goodies.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can pick those up yourself. You know,
Where did you say that was?
So it should be in the compendium that I shared for this game, and one. Let's see if I can pull them up. What they were called. One was called it's like the 12 days of Christmas or something. It was literally Christmas themed. One was called like Shredder's Garage or something. Those were weapons. Put my compendium.
Yeah, 12 days and search brings it right up. That's us.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah. So there's like, I think it was like a total of 4. One was mainly for me because it actually made tougher mooks. But yeah, Wood Chipper Garage was one. That was weapons. Where's the other ones? There's 2 others. Mr. Amaze's new cyberware. On the 12th day was Cyber Miss, and I think that was it. Yeah, I think those were it. Everything else, the other one was for hardened mooks. So.
we have enough trouble with some of the normal mooks.
I know. Yeah, so for anyone that wants more stuff, there you go. Alrighty. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's see. So y'all started off last time at the bunker, a little bit of cabin fever. Max sent y'all out to kind of recon and find any leads. You went back to the old lab, found it was still occupied in a sense, saved some unfortunate homeless people roped into all this, capped a net runner, and you capped what looked like a pretty high level merc and a whole bunch of goodies, especially off the net runner. You found a lot of decoded and encoded stuff that right now Max and Jammer are working on. But you also found there was a further the tunnel system kept going. This from this basement that was not connected to the sewers. It looked like it was like its own little maintenance tunnel, but you don't know where it goes yet. This is one of those. Max is unsure how to go. He has a few ideas, which one is you just hoof it and see what you find, or you use what assets you have. You have a plethora of drones that you can shoot down there, and all you can do is just recon till you start losing the signal, move closer, and go from there.
I don't recommend just hoofing it. Have y'all heard of Chud?
Yeah. Yeah, there are many reasons not to do that. So he also had this theory about where these tunnels might come out. So how plausible do we think that is? There was an old, I don't remember the details, but you do.
So what Max had first thought was that it could have been an old, lead to an old metro station or another part of the sewer system. Because as he was saying it, that there is a lot that is underneath Night City. It's, Night City is a city built upon a city built upon a city. The old stays underneath and crumbles. So his theory is that they have essentially kind of found their way through in all this, and they're using the old city to find their way through undetected, or at least for now.
So, let's research that possibility. The drones that are something we can try, but it seems that if the bad guys are on their toes, which they seem to be so far, they'll detect that, destroy the drones, or worse, trace the drones back to us wherever we might be. So, possibility number 2 seems like a good place to start. Let's look at a map. Where might these tunnels lead, and take a look at those locations.
So, finding old city maps kind of hard, takes a while, because most of those records, unfortunately, were in the city center, which unfortunately is still kind of gone and irradiated at this point. Jammer could start digging through and just see what she finds, which may take a while. You're not sure how long that will be. It could be days, an hour, weeks. You're unsure. But to y'all, it doesn't seem quick enough. This is something
Jammer's time's better spent decoding the goodies from the Netrunner anyway.
Because she's already, yeah, exactly. She'd be setting that aside. So, once again, as Max put it, you can slowly recon it, and as he gets information, he sends it to you. You could go try and see if you could find a location that would have records, maybe an old data dump somewhere, or wait. And that's kind of where he's left y'all right now, is y'all are trying to come up with an idea of how to go. And at this same time, Xander is walking around. He's up and moving, but he's very distant. He's not, he's even more shut off than he normally is, which is kind of strange to most of you. It's like, oh, he was always a prick already. Now it's worse.
He doesn't have anything on his hot dog.
So when you do notice Xander, what was that?
Sauerkraut now because I'm bitter.
So what people do notice when you see him is that he is going through the supplies, and he keeps loading up his car.
Going somewhere?
No, I'm just making sure I'm bringing hell with me. Not going to get caught with my pants down again.
Okay.
Y'all got to know.
Your car wouldn't have fit in the sewers back then anyway. So,
Well, it's just for me to have closer. Come on. And he's now wearing obvious armor instead of just that hidden.
Well, there's not much to say to any of that yet, except to say, hey, here's your paintball gun, but it looks like you're up and around. You may or may not need this.
Yeah.
Although if you're going to shoot something up inside, you might want to use a paintball gun.
Yeah. My practice is going to be on bad guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that's the case. And that's all he says.
Mm-hmm.
So, where would we go to find more information about the old city? Just a general poll to the group. The data long ago, before the internet, we used to write things down. And there might actually be some of those records still lying around someplace that weren't nuked. And there may actually still be, digital archives too, but I really have no clue where either might be. So, what do y'all think?
With our luck, it's probably all magnetic drives. They're all completely wiped.
Well, why don't we try this? We all have various contacts. And why don't we poll the folks that we know and see if we get a hit?
What condition is Sparky in?
Sparky's good.
We healed up?
Yeah.
Long
Okay.
rest, recharges.
Yeah, everyone's good. Okay, cat. Nope, just lay down. There we go. Nope, lay down. There you go. Anyway, so, oh, cat, Lord. So, y'all are you and the Scooby Gang are splitting up, searching for clues. Is that the plan? Or just kind of putting your ear to the ground, see what you pick up?
I think that's more of the plan, is just trying to get on the comms and shake the trees a little.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll definitely be hard at work when y'all aren't around.
Ooh.
Hey Sid, I heard of a new restaurant opening on the other side of town. Let's go check it out.
So, Xander, you actually have an old contact you had when you were a merc. A merc that was still freelance. You can call up. Really, it's an old friend, more of a foe now.
Mm.
Left on bad terms.
Oh, yeah.
That you could call.
Or we can give it a shot. So nurses, I've taken up a new hobby, researching the old city.
So, you have a conversation. He laughs when you say that. He goes, "Well, I might have a lead. You're gonna have to meet me at my shop."
All right.
It's like, come by yourself. Don't bring anyone else.
That sounds fishy, but okay.
It's like it's like, I remember you. We didn't leave on good terms. I don't know who you're rolling with.
I got
willing to help.
Fair enough. Just as long as we're on the level that I'm not going to go in there blasting. I'm just after info.
It's like, yeah, it's like, you can bring your piece, but I ain't gonna use anything on you.
All right, fair enough. Sniff it out.
So he gives you the address. It's in one of the many combat zones of Night City.
Yeah.
And when you get there, you're actually kind of shocked, because what it is, it's an old or currently a working, well, almost looks like a restaurant. Like a butcher shop / eatery. You're not sure how to take that. I haven't moved the dang thing. Which one is it? Oh, this one. Yep. All right. So you meet your old contact.
Right on.
He's throwing stuff in the fryer, covers the lid, and walks back over to you. And he's like, "Oh, as you see, nothing's really changed as much since we last worked together."
Yeah. Looks like you're still cutting the mustard, though.
Indeed. It's like, so
what's on the menu?
Information, of course. You know me. He continues on and says, I say you want to find maps of the old city. Used to be, way back in the day, you'd go to City Hall or the library and find blueprints and maps of this stuff on paper.
Right.
Yeah. Well, anything that it was paper, it's probably in Arasaka Tower, and now it's all ash.
Mm-hmm.
He's cutting something up. He has perfect form. He goes, now, what
We all know there are redundancies. There's stuff hid in a closet somewhere.
Well, more than that, information is powerful. Those documents, even back then, would have been scanned, digitized, just for the simple fact that paper doesn't last forever. These records would have been saved and probably rescanned, resaved. Better quality stuff came around. We don't really have libraries anymore. We just have information centers, or you have corporations. Now, these records may be one of two places: in a vault somewhere, or in a mainframe at a corpo building in the center of the city.
Neither one was a whole lot of help to me, but that's okay. Gives me leads.
True. But it's not the only reason why I wanted to see you. I heard about what happened.
Well, rumors of my demise are largely exaggerated.
Well, the only thing that's going to kill you is an ulcer.
For a woman.
But I've heard you've been wanting to find out who could have done that to you.
Well, I'm down. They will be too.
Well, you didn't hear this from me, but a few members of the Moxies went rogue, want to live a better life than what they already have. Partnered up with a corporation, up and coming startup, where they are. Well, their specialty is, instead of implanting fun memories, they're extracting them. Sounds a little bit what happened to you.
Get your ass to Mars. I got you.
Exactly. Now, I'm not saying they're the ones that did it, but it's probably a very good fit that they might have been the ones that did that to you.
Right on. Wouldn't have to be a convenient situation that their mainframe might be one of the ones I need to look at, right?
Who knows? I mean, you'd already be going in there. You could always check.
I got you. I see.
But
Right
the company's name is Nightshade. But like I said, I'm not telling you that they have a building 5 blocks from here. I'm not saying that what they did to you, all that information might be there, or the information you're looking for might be there. And I'm totally not saying to go in there and raise hell.
So what's your kick if something like that would happen? They wouldn't send you after me, would they?
Well, I think you already have a lot of people gunning for you.
Well, no shit. That's what happens when you get popular.
Yeah. I mean, if the fire's already burning, what harm is there throwing more wood on it?
I'm just to keep my twig out.
Well, like I said, some free information for an old friend.
I appreciate that. And also know that no information is free, so I'll have one of those big kahunas or whatever it is you got right there.
He gives you, the big kahuna burger special.
Yeah. Looks at it, wraps it back up in the paper, and says, "Yeah, so much for caring for my health."
It's better than kibble.
Yeah. This is true. 100% rat burger. I'm not thanking for that. Head out. Report that in. I'm going to go scout the building and report that to Jammer. See if she maybe can get a lead on something.
So it doesn't take long to get a hold of Jammer. I mean, she's not doing anything. And, when you tell her, new company called Nightshade, she goes, and her voice doesn't sound normal, almost sounds digital again at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You just hear searching, wait a bit. Found something. And she explains Nightshade is a new startup corporation, just like your contact said. And it does appear that they have a lot of servers, mainframes. They'll take her time to try and break through their firewalls and try and hack something. And she's saying it might be easier if you, for her to get access if you do a remote hack.
How close I gotta have you?
the closer the better.
Right on. I'm gonna scout around, see what I can see.
So it's a fairly good sized building. Typical for the area. Offices obviously near the top. When you go into the lobby, you realize it's multiple office suites. This whole building isn't owned by Nightshade.
Right, they just got a little bit small space. They're just trying to look bigger than they are.
Exactly. And according to the directory, Nightshade, the company Nightshade, has an office on the 27th floor, elevator access,
Hmm.
and that's it. So everything they would have, including the mainframes, would be on 27th floor.
How many floors is it?
50.
Okay.
So
How much?
not the biggest building in the city,
But average.
but average. I mean, they're just starting off. They're not going to be able to afford something fancy.
Right on. I don't think I'm going in solo, but I got some information. So I'll report in and we'll dispatch a task force to it. I'm not going in solo. Not right now, not till I have a firmer grip on what's going on.
Gotcha. All right. So back to the Bat Cave.
See what everybody else is doing with their hunting.
So no one really has any more information. Some people are calling, some people are on their agents kind of typing in, taking phone calls. Max is searching. So it seems like you're the only one that has actually real information. So everyone kind of sees Max return, which, he came back. Oh my gosh. And he kind of tells everyone he found out.
I don't know what the connection is to these guys to our gutter boys, but there's something afoot and they may have the information we need.
Or it might be your old buddy trying to pull your chain.
That's why I didn't go in there by myself.
That impresses Damone rather. All right. Well, we could check it out. We could play it cool. Just walk in the front door and see what they do.
Yeah, but
You
for
know,
gun
not-
for me, I don't need to be the one walking in.
All right, no problem.
I don't mind coming in on the backup, but if I'm their target, I don't need to be the face of the operation.
Yeah, if you're known to them, you probably don't want to be there at all. But probably all of us are known to them if they were involved with you.
Well, I can take it down floor at a time till I get 27 to the first, but
Well, so call up some of those gangers that were, we jammed together from time to time,
Yes.
and say, "Hey, I got a job for you, and I wonder if you might go to this place. Not going to be alone. We'll be nearby, and just walk in there and scout the place. See what they do." And see if they kick you out or take you in or what. So what do you say?
So they go, well, sure, Damone,
hard to act, huh?
yeah. So they're like, well, this is kind of an odd request, but we'll just see what they do.
Because I'll level with you. I think these guys, if we're right about them, they already know who I am and everybody else involved is. If we walk in there, it's going to be bad news. But you have a chance. All you have to do is, just ask questions and leave. Don't do anything more. And then we'll talk about it later.
So they agree. They said, yeah, sure.
And then to Jammer, this remote hack thing of yours, if we give them something, do they actually need to plug it into something? Is it enough to be in proximity?
And you hear, a very kind of robotic reply in mainframe.
No, we can't trust these kids or inflict that upon these kids. So for now, just ask them to go in there, ask some questions, and see what we get.
Well, hell, that might be a diversion when we get in there.
Maybe. But the thing is, why stir up trouble unless we have to? These folks just might be doing whatever the hell. Had nothing to do with us. I'm not convinced that your buddy's on the level yet.
Me either. No, not for free.
Might be kind of a long shot, but my character's in the character creation. My character gets her supplies and stuff backdoor through a corporate, and that's never been really developed or anything. Maybe I can get some information on these people through that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so you kind of like follow behind them.
Check with my contacts and see what they can come up with on this.
So anyone that you have dealt with or done work for in regards to getting supplies, they kind of tell you, yeah, these people are new. They're kind of like a new startup. Not really sure what they do. It's kind of like a mystery right now of who these people are and what they do.
The sewers on the 27th.
You never know. All right.
The other thing too is nothing saying you can't just see if you can't make deals. So if you want to use them as a distraction and go up there yourself to try to, make a deal, you can. If anyone wants to go with you in the process.
Oh, like has been said, they probably know all of us now by sight.
All right. So how about let's start with the rocker gangers as a distraction, kind of intel gathering on the light side. And if we see an opportunity, then try to get Jammer, the hard line, into the mainframe.
Yeah, I figured we'd keep her in the car and overwatch and then jump if we get a chance to jump.
And that'll be our best chance of getting some solid information. If we determine that there's somebody that we can deal with, then okay, great. If not, then hopefully we haven't made things worse by trying to hack their systems.
So 27th floor, send the rocker kids to see what they can get. So it doesn't take long after they've gone up that you get a response back like, we barely got off the elevator when we got up there, but
What they do? They come at you with guns?
And as soon as we came off the elevator, 2 security guards were like, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you here for? You got an appointment?" Tried to see if we couldn't strike up a conversation, see if we could talk to the boss about doing a private show for him. And I was like, "Oh, there's already a private party," and kind of sent us back away. We only kind of got the front desk and the first 2 security guards.
Okay, well that tells us actually quite a bit right there. Actively guarded.
Suspicious.
Well, lots of places are actively guarded, diligently guarded.
Yeah.
No, the guards were not asleep.
Do the guards have beady eyes, though?
They didn't say.
Beady, beady, beady.
So what was your impression of the guards? Are they high tier corporate types or low tier corporate types, or Guys off the street? What do you think?
Some guy with a big hat and a baseball bat.
Hey,
It's like they're like, no, they're all professional looking. You know, they all had suits on. They're definitely trying to play it as if they're high level. I mean, we didn't stay long enough to see if they really were or not, but it definitely seemed like they're trying to pull off a look.
okay. Well, let's hopefully they snapped a couple of pictures at least while they were up there, and let's take a look at them. And do we get any sort of clues?
So they're saying, you know, you don't need security access to access the elevator. You kind of just go in, press 27, you head up. You're just greeted by the welcoming committee.
Mm-hmm.
And that's as far as we got. Seems like it's a legit office for sure.
All right. Well, deal's a deal. Pay them 100 creds each, and thank you for your time. That wouldn't have been much of a distraction anyway.
So 2 guards and somebody at the desk. I could probably waste all 3 of them pretty quick.
Again,
You want a diversion?
that's not. No, we don't want to waste anybody until we actually know that they're waste material.
Speak for yourself.
And you do have a flying car.
We'll crash in the window. I mean, we know our pilot.
Yeah, that's something that is certified.
Someone.
Hey.
So what do
So-
we know about the layout of the building itself? Floors above and below, and is that something that we can get?
So they're right in the middle. According to the directory, this is kind of a typical building used by startups. Just from the size of it, it's big, but not, it's not impressively big.
Yeah, it's a Kickstarter building.
Yeah, it is. We work Night City.
Yeah.
And
Right.
So when you're looking through the directory, the bottom floors, okay, typical. I've never heard of these people. You see Nightshade, you go higher, okay. Same thing. You've never heard of any of these companies or what they've done. They all just they're just new kids. So you might be able to easily, BS your way into one of these other suites for sure. You just know this one definitely was a bit more sensitive to uninvited guests.
But even if we did, how would you access the adjacent floor from one above or below?
High explosives?
Okay. Any other options that is not loud and draws attention?
You have the elevator shaft, high explosives, cutting glass on the outside. You can't really fit into a air vent, despite no matter what Die Hard tries to tell you.
Do we have a drone that can?
I'm sure Sparky has one that he's the drone master.
Sparky?
Sure.
What do you got?
Give it a try.
Can we make it quiet? Because that would be really nice for it to, people will notice if there's, something bumping around in their air vents. So how would you manage that? Sparky is pondering, I think.
Yes, pondering.
Well, while you're pondering that, on the BS side of things, who is in the floor above and below?
So,
The Piranha Fleshlight Company.
oh God, let's see.
Call me, Alabama. Sorry.
So, below you have a few. One looks like a fashion group. One looks like they're trying to be a startup tech company. Join the club.
Ooh, fashion group.
Fashion group. Yeah, several people bounced off of that. Really? Okay. Yeah, Damon's like lit right up. Just, oh yeah, okay.
Schlitz and Glam. Everything's based off Schlitz malt liquor. There's one group trying to research better, different ways to make kibble taste better.
a worthy cause. I like that. That's right.
Half my characters cyberware is fashion wear.
Yeah, basically all of Damone. So yeah, I think we have a winner there. I like that one because we can pull that off, and Damone can use kind of his limited star power to walk in the door and say, "Hey, you may have seen me." Yeah, so that might work. That might
How
work.
much will you pay me to promote your brand?
That
So-
would be a reason to have Mr. Wig there.
Yeah.
No, Damone, don't be so we need to have a contract first.
So, luckily enough, oh, mommy's a robot. Oh my gosh, how appropriate for Cyberpunk. So, yeah, that's Thor's new game. Is when it comes time for bedtime, because she hates it. Obviously, me and Lindsay are robots because only robots would make her go to bed.
That is correct.
Child logic right there. But luckily for you, Schlitz and Glam is actually the suite above Nightshade.
Awesome. Okay. I think we have a plan here. So, Jane and Damone, whose eyes both lit up at the mention of Schlitz and Glam, could be the BS front for this op, with Mr. Wig providing legal and corporate advice. So we need to have a way to get. Let's see, Alonzo. It would not be unusual to have a bodyguard or two. So that explains, the rest of the guys. Now, how do we get your drone in, and Sparky?
Deliveries, delivering flowers or some such.
Now we want you to walk into into it with a big group, right?
Right.
If you're part of the big group, and then have an excuse to branch off to a closet or something, say a restroom inside there, that will
just
give
like
you some,
Spyglass. They're just there filming.
and Spyglass. That might work. Yeah, you're part of Spyglass's crew.
Sounds good.
You just have to have a reason to break off and have some cover in time to go do your thing with the drone.
Give him a boom mic to walk around with. Yeah.
I think we can pull this off. This actually sounds like fun. And try and a very lack of shooting people indiscriminately. So
Spoil my fun.
you might end up having to shoot people indiscriminately later. Yeah, so we'll see. The day is young. All right.
All right.
So what does the group think of all this?
You good? Hanzo nods.
All right. We'll go make a
Alright,
big
so-
show of it.
All right, so we got Alonzo, Spyglass, Damone, Jane, Sparky. Anyone else going along?
I guess I'm in.
And I think we need Mr. Wig. Mr. Wig as the agent. You played that role before, if you remember, and it was pretty good.
I can try, sure.
The red M&Ms. The red M&Ms, remember?
Was it red?
Or green? I forget. But yeah.
Who can say? And we'll say Sid's in the car because it would be kind of odd to have a cop with you as well. But as far as entourages go, this is pretty good size.
Yeah. Certainly going to have an impact on, shock and awe with them. Just this whole thing coming off the elevator. And yeah.
Sid does have trouble blending in. He went undercover into a high school as a narc once, but they identified him right away because of his battle armor.
Don't move, citizen.
I mean,
Come on.
contemporary student.
Hello, fellow kids. If anyone's ever seen that.
Yep.
All right, let's see if I Everyone. Perfect. Okay. So we have a group assembled to go enter Schlitz and Glam. Oh my lord.
Oh wow. Okay. So Jane's gonna stop me there. All right.
You just come in disheveled.
Not going out.
Oh me.
There actually is that roll skill. I don't even know if you can even roll it. That I poured a few points into the charismatic impact thing. Oh well, whatever. Go on. Yeah, we're taking up the whole damn office.
Yeah. So you come in, there's European house music playing, people are walking by, and there's a front desk right over here. And this gentleman sees you and goes, "Hello, welcome to Schlitz and Glam. What can we do for you here?"
And at this point, Damon's thinking maybe we should have considered what sort of fashion that these guys are into. Anyway,
Obviously, as you can see, sir, my client here is in desperate need of your attention.
maybe I should have gone with a critical failure.
Obviously, but we have a 6-month waiting period for how you say consultation for the homeless.
See, that's the thing. He's not homeless. He just appears that way. He's actually quite well known, and I think if you look at your records, you'd be probably willing to oversee that normal waiting period.
And he just kind of has his arm folded and just like, well done. Are you talking about Zigata? I'm sure he is very well known there. This is Schlitz and Glam. We are at the height of fashion here.
Ah, yes, but he's not in the fashion world. He is just in the famous world. This is none other than Triple D.
He pulls
do
out
know
the
that.
sax and actually just goes into a 10-second rip with a flaming, with the flames and everything.
Oh, you did not tell me it was the Candygram stripper for Boris. Oh, I will go tell him right now.
Hey, whatever. We'll roll with it.
Yeah, Lud just looks over at you and shrugs. I mean, okay.
Okay, yeah, whatever. As long as they get us in there. Jesus Christ. Boris is sure going to be surprised.
Especially when we start stripping.
Well, just the hat. What are you talking about?
So this guy kind of comes
Right
up.
away, wait for the money.
Yeah. Wait for the money first.
Lower, dude. Jeez.
You see this guy's pressing the button, the call button for the elevator. He's just like ding, 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 ding. So yeah. Yes, right over here. So this gentleman walks up and goes, "So you are the Candygram stripper?"
Where's Boris?
Boss is busy. I am Boss's assistant, Stefan.
That's fine. That's fine. Just take us on inside and we'll get all set up.
Oh, tease inside. You're already inside, dum dum. Typical Night City boys. Boris is busy. If I need to say it one more time. If you would like to, you can wait out in common area, and Boris will be with you soon.
Yeah, don't you mean the other way around? We got to go to where Boris is.
No.
Oh, that's fine. It'll give us a chance to get more footage of the common area with the documentary crew.
Did you say documentary crew?
Oh, yes, obviously. You can see behind me the man with the camera and the guy with the boom mic. Obviously, we're filming.
He looks back there. They're not even holding the equipment right except for spyglass.
Yeah, I'm holding the boom. I like.
Are you impugning spyglasses?
The boom mic keeps
Capitalism.
coming into frame. It's just,
He's like
He's coming-
smacking it out like a mosquito. Go. Ow.
Yeah, boom.
Yes, I believe your compatriot was a little bit misunderstanding the situation. We're actually here after hearing some very devastating rumors about bad dye and some of the clothing coming out of this shop.
bad dye. No, we have the best cruelty-free dye in the world. Come with me this way immediately. And he
What would
brings
you say
everyone.
all the people that are having these horrible allergic reactions and chemical burns, though?
How do you know about the chemical burns?
Well, this is your chance to tell your side of the story, and
Okay.
I'll follow him.
So he kind of brings everyone. He says, around there's like a little hallway by some offices. We'll just bring everyone down here for sake of. And he goes, You come with me to see Boris. Everyone else, stay here. Bathrooms are over here. We will be back.
Well, I wave to Spyglass and something, and like follow along anyway.
And Damone looks back at Sparky and jerks his head over at the restroom.
Wander off.
Spyglass is just going to be like creeping in from a corner. So Stefan pulls Wig into the looks like a conference room with another individual. There's 2 bathrooms, of course.
Are these guys all drinking the red Kool-Aid?
It does look like that, yes. It's Schlitz. So 2 bathrooms, male, female, obviously. So you can both investigate and see which one has a vent and is empty.
All right. Well, what's in here?
So besides one guy occupying it, there does appear to be a vent, a typical exhaust vent, and an AC vent, and same in the women's bathroom. So definitely something you can pry off.
This guy looked like he's about done.
Yeah, he keeps looking back like you're just sitting there tapping your finger, and he just quietly finishes up, washes his hands, and just like hurriedly leaves.
All right. Damone goes over to the door. It's typical sort of bathroom door, no lock sort of thing.
Mhm.
All right. Just lean against it. All right, Sparky. And peek around the corner. Hey, Alonzo, would you kind of look the outside up here?
Good. Okay. He says he's got it.
All right. So meanwhile, Wig is in negotiations.
I'm hoping, for my point of view, to have known enough about this company to know who they work for, to know another clothing company they work under the same parent company of, that maybe I can toss them a lifeline and they can blame those people, right? But I'm gonna drag it out.
So it does, when you go in this meeting, it's very Boris is very what's the word I'm trying to look up, defensive, because there's something up just by a simple guess. There is something wrong with their stuff. So there, he's very defensive, and he's just like, this can't get out. Trying to work on deals.
Have you seen the models? They all look like they're about to fall apart. None of them can keep any weight on. It's like something's causing them to be sick, obviously.
It's like, please don't say that out loud. Like, listen, we've all had to cut costs and corners to make a buck here. We're just getting lucky. Like, sure, the clothes may burn you and scar you, not just emotionally, but physically. But it's fashion.
I have heard you need to suffer for your art.
Exactly. It's exactly my vision. It is.
Does Boris look like Tom Cruise by chance?
Maybe he is small. He's like that. That's the energy I'm going with. It's the perfect allegory for living, not only in this world but specifically in Night City.
what it used to be heroin chic. Now it's radiation chic.
I mean, what isn't irradiated around here? I mean, it just feels like yesterday, I was pulling clumps of hair, out because, oh no, radiation dust blowing through.
Well, the good thing about going bald is just it makes it easier to wear wigs, and you can change your hair up like on a daily basis.
It's like, oh, all right. I mean, you pulls the wig off and puts it back. It's like, listen. I'm not telling you to stay quiet on this, but I am saying you should be quiet about this because this is a very important brand. I mean, people are literally lining up outside of the stores to get Schlitz and Glam.
I can understand that, and I understand you've worked very hard to get to this point. My only concern is if you were cutting corners, you don't need to be cutting.
Okay. Maybe we should have, a safe work environment. Maybe.
I could get some footage of you perhaps hiring somebody, putting them in a QA position, put out the word that you're making amends, going the right direction, care about your customers.
Sir, are you trying to blackmail me into getting a job?
No, I don't want you to hire me. I have a job.
Because if you were, that is exactly the attitude we need at Schlitz and Glam.
Let me give you a name though, and
Yeah. Think it over. Yeah. It's like, in fact, you can give all the contact information to the Stefan over here, and your people will talk with my people. We'll keep it on the down low.
actually, I'd like to see your company's numbers. We might have some investment opportunities here if you're really making the sales you're claiming.
Yeah. Of course, we could totally look over numbers. Sure. There's a readout out in the main office. He walks you.
I didn't want to see the public numbers.
Well, he walks you out here, and he's like, I don't know what any of this gobbledygook is, but I mean, they're all green. Some are red. Actually, there's a lot red, but ours is green. That's good, right? Green is good.
Yeah, just give arm wavy directions to Spyglass to film everything around so he can get a good layout of everything. And I might actually invest in their company if they're making enough profit.
He's not lying. It is green. The stocks are rising somehow.
Perhaps if we were to buy enough stock, we could put someone of ours in position so they can monitor, make sure nothing comes crashing down, too much truth gets revealed, so etc.
I mean, yeah, we're at such a crucial point in our manufacturing. We're about to. I mean, we got a new line coming out, and I mean, if any of this news came out, I mean, it would ruin us. I mean, I'm still trying to find out a good catchphrase for it as well. Get Schlitz, that was tossed around. I didn't like it, but yeah, if you want to invest, totally open for investors.
I think of a good catchphrase. I guess I'd have to see this line.
It's like, yeah, we he's pulling a portfolio and he's showing it off. He's like, yeah, we're going through, the young and the Schlitz, but you could see it all right there. He's willingly showing you all the designs.
Nice. I'm just hoping I'm keeping them occupied long enough for whatever else these other people with me are doing. I didn't pay enough attention to what was happening during the planning phase to actually know, so he's just going to keep talking.
So,
and I do work for a corporation, so I have to bring them things every now and then to keep them happy with me.
All right. So Sparky, with that role, you're able to get one of your drones in and eventually finagle it in. A few people kind of hear a little, through the vent, but people aren't paying it too much. And eventually you find the duct down overlooking the floor below, and it's a exact layout as here. These are all kind of cookie cutter executive suites. They all have a similar loadout to here. You just so you can see there's, you know, elevators, a waiting room, the bathrooms, the common area, but there's definitely other rooms here. You can see the doors for them, but you're unsure if sending the drone out through the vent would be a good idea. But directly below you is the other bathroom. And the other thing your drone does notice is that the other rocker boys were correct. There are definitely a lot more security guards. This one just had, you know, the one up front. This one has several kind of walking back and forth, checking stuff.
I stuck something in Saturday night chat just for giggles. I couldn't get it into where we could see it otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Schlitz and Glam logo. Did it take?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, don't see it.
Okay. That's weird. According to this, it's rather a video meeting. Okay. It's in the Saturday night gaming chat.
No, send it again. You know, it's probably good enough we could use too.
Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can get it to go. It just stuck in my head. I had to do it.
Schlitz and Glam. 2 Schlitz, 2 Glam.
Yeah, that's it. You just bring the pretzel.
When you got Schlitz, everything's glam.
Yeah. So much glam, it gives you Schlitz. Yeah.
It's so glamorous. You'll Schlitz.
Yeah.
All righty. So, but yeah, that's as much as you're able to make out on your little recon flight without exposing the drone.
Yeah. Is that thing advanced enough to plug the thing in?
Not the basic models.
Okay. Well, I was hoping.
But of course, the other thing too is you'd have to expose the drone and
Yeah.
still find the server room.
Well, where is the server room?
So Sparky has told the information to you that, well, you can actually see the V loadout he's looking at. You know, each floor is about cookie cutter the same. You have your entryway, this hallway, this little main area for the human drones, you know, where Wig and Boris are at. And there is a door right there.
So our server stuff is presumably over there.
Yes. Because
Is
there's
there
there's like a warning sign, stuff like that.
All right. Well, march the drone around this area and see if there's another way in.
So
Perhaps a way in from above.
So making our tech roll, Sparky.
Ooh, yeah. Sparky's on a roll.
Mm-hmm. So Sparky, yeah, the drone, you know, it's moving around, trying to fly it by not just events, but you're trying to guess which direction you're facing. So you come to a split, take it one way, you see into a room, looks like a security office. You kind of try and U-turn it, fly back. Next room, you look through the vent, you see computer stacks.
A lot or little?
A lot. This is your mainframe.
So somewhere again in this area.
Yes.
So how do we get in there?
Well,
Above and below, or even the hard lines, because those cables have to go somewhere.
yeah. So, you know, you have the elevator and the elevator shaft at the front. From where you know, spyglass on this conference room at the bottom, there are windows that lead outside.
So are there windows on the side of the server room?
So the server room is toward the interior of the
Mhm.
building.
Oh, so the windows would be over here. Yeah.
So all those windows.
That makes more sense. So let me be specific. If we were to go into this level's equivalent area
Mhm.
and pull up the floor, will we be able to get through there?
You'd probably need some heavy equipment to go through the floor. Oh, things can't get through on my screen. Or, the typical high explosive.
Mhm.
Which we've got.
Yeah, but you have the high explosives. The only thing you don't have is an exit strategy.
Right.
Getting in will be easy. It's the getting out part.
My demolition skill is worse than my piloting.
I got a rocket launcher.
So you're saying you're going to bring down the building instead of
So
okay.
you're saying there's a chance.
Well, again, you can crash through one window and then just cross the hall into the next one.
So Sparky's little drone comes back. All happy.
I have chipware for demolitions.
Fancy, excellent.
So what's on
It's
the
only a
other
skill
side
of
here?
3.
I can't ping it, but off screen to the left.
Mhm.
Up here, we know we have an elevator and an elevator shaft off screen
Yep.
to the left. But what is off screen to the left here?
Okay, so what the drone picked up, it went right. This seemed to be like a little security office. Here, I'll just what the drone picked up. Boom. That's what it looks like.
Okay,
So you have it looks like a security
So
office, maintain
that's
cameras.
a door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got a door to the security office right there. This door is the only entrance into the mainframes.
Yeah, and drone also picked up somebody inside, apparently.
So
All right. Well, again, knowledge of the building. What is on to the left of the server room wall?
okay, so
Yeah, Matt can't look at a map without saying, "What's outside the bound of this map?"
Because it's important. Yeah.
so the suite on the other side
Think outside the box, man. You know that.
seemed like a startup company for weapons manufacturing, the selling and distribution of beginner level, new age.
So
Riffles.
another suite's on the other side. Is what it says.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Now, cables. Servers like this are hardwired. The cables have to go somewhere, so there have to be access to the cables between levels.
mhm.
Is that the case here?
Yes.
Okay.
So there would be that cavity between
Drop ceiling.
the drop ceiling and floors.
Perfect. So that would be our best way in. Question to Jammer: would it be sufficient to if we can get to the cables? Is that going to do you any good, or do you actually need something inside the server physically?
So you hear a pause, and it's that robotic voice again. It says, "Physical pairing to one tower would do it. Through a cable. If you could attach one of our beacons on there, I should be able to. That should suffice for a connection to make accessing everything easier."
If we can find a way to work with one of these cables, then we can make it work for you.
Yes.
Okay. So, networking, you can't just splice cables, particularly, click, that typically does bad things. So we need to find the termination point for these cables. Where do they go?
Well,
And there might actually be something like a switch in that access space, but if it were truly a secure environment, something like that would not be in the access space.
yeah, you're driving me crazy.
I'm trying.
I was trying to talk, and she's rubbing against my mic and rubbing against my screen. My mic is just covered in hair.
Oh yeah.
So with a building like this, you probably, one of two things. It's probably in a basement level, because most cables in this city are going to be underground.
Mm-hmm.
So, or you can see there's roof access, but probably most likely it's going to be in a basement level.
All right. So that would be, that sounds like our best bet is to find the termination point for this suite's set of cables and try to work with the endpoints that we have down there. And if there is some sort of network interface, wouldn't be uncommon. A network room for the floor, we can play with that. But you get what I'm after. Trying really hard not to have to interact with anybody in that suite, because unless we know that these are bad guys, then what the hell is the point of doing that? And if they are bad guys, then Xander, go have fun.
You see him stalk off for a second. What will you get back here?
Not yet. that was a potential future state. So again, we're kind of back to Sparky.
I have a gas grenade, a sleep grenade.
Let's confirm we even need to use them.
Right.
So let's get Jammer's gadget into a place that can do some good, and let Jammer poke around. And if we find out that we need to do more, then we'll do more.
Like me to make another roll?
Probably so. Because we're going to have to go. This time we're posing as utility workers. The telecom guy, cable guy.
Cable guy.
Going in downstairs so that you can mess with the networking gear, which, well, we'll see.
Are you giving us the wrap it up signal?
Yeah. We walk out and say, hey, yeah, we found out what we needed to find out to Alonzo, and go around and, hey, where's Wig? Has he bought this place yet?
Well, when he sees you all looking like you're getting ready to leave, he looks over at Boris. Says, Boris, good news. I think we can do business. I really like these designs you showed me. And about those chemical burns that are supposedly happened, I'm pretty sure I can even help you make sure that goes away. After all, in this very dangerous world, Schlitz happens.
I like that. Hey, get apparel on the line right now. We're putting out shirts with this tomorrow.
Yeah.
You found your tagline. All right.
Tagline for the video. Schlitz happens. God damn right. Boris looks at you like, that is exactly what I'm talking about. You are the Schlitz to my glam.
Yeah, that's going to be the title when Matt puts it on YouTube.
Schlitz happens. That's right.
Schlitz happens. Oh, God. Oh. Yeah, handshakes all around.
Yeah.
People are popping champagne. Everyone's happy. God. Oh. Okay. So with most of these corporate buildings, you kind of have there is an underground structure. Some are paired to a parking garage that they have access to. And, elevators and stairwells lead down there. So you can easily just
metro station,
pretty much. So you can easily get down there. So let me get down to an appropriate size. It's gonna be a tight elevator for y'all. Xander. So everyone kind of packs up onto the elevator. Spyglass is pissed at how you all handled his equipment. And you know how hard it is to steal this from a news studio that fired you?
All I can tell you is get a grip. I'm not a gaffer.
He goes, respect. So you're able to get down to the cat. Dang it. She reset the size of my window. It's like microscopic. That's better. I was like, why is everything shrinking? Okay, cat, now's not a good time to claw me.
You foiled my plans again.
I swear that's her attitude. She has it out for me. Okay. Yep. Okay. So let me bring the banner. Now that I can see.
Boop.
Okay. So yep. So you're up here. Hey-o.
Oh, is that a tank?
You talking about the parking garage?
Yeah.
It may look like it, but it is you have a flying car, a classic, and this looks like a weird hybrid.
Okay.
That looks nothing like my car.
It's just indicating it has a full charge. That's what that is.
So okay, Kat, I'm gonna put you down gently. Don't call me. Thank you. Yeah, she's pissed. I was comfortable laying on your keyboard and effing everything up. How dare you move me?
They've got similar problems with Oracle. He's doing this stretch all the way out thing, right? So he's just moving the mouse and trying to take a bath right here.
So
Okay.
ding, elevator door opens. You're in this
Ding.
hallway.
All right.
There's-
Well, anybody here?
So, this is your typical elevator pod area. There's stairwell doors, a door leading one way, a door leading another. But strangely enough, there's a door with a keypad here and a door with a big keypad and face scanner right here.
Yeah, we're not seeing your pings, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, you see now? Ah, there
Yeah,
they are.
there we go.
Okay,
Yeah.
So this big door right here has a keypad and looks like a key badge, all the fancy crap. This one's just a keypad.
All right. Well, Sparky, what do you think of the big fancy door?
Let me do an assessment of it.
God.
All right. This is your typical Miltech security door. Their version of high end. You need a pass. Each individual's pass also has their own individual code to type in so you know who accessed this door. So obviously someone of a security type in this building would have a key card and may have a code as well.
Good afternoon, Mr. Musk. Welcome.
Do you think that you can poke your nose in there, or do we really need to go looking for that sort of thing?
So for this, you would probably be better calling Jammer.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're hunting around for a key card and a code, you have no idea if every security guard has a key and a code to this, or a select few, or maybe, just one.
All right. Well, what does Jammer think?
Say cop Jammer.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, that's easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
yeah. It's like place the phone, against the keypad and wait.
Okay, click.
Pizza Hut, pizza to go.
Nobody out pizzas the hut.
Yeah.
So you wait a
Is
minute.
that the Noid? Is the Noid on the screen? What?
So you stand there for a while, then all of a sudden you hear, welcome. Ting, 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 ting. Door opens.
That was frightening. Okay, so is there any other type of security here
So
aside from the cameras?
yeah, so looks like this floor, another door, maybe one camera.
All right.
Besides
So
the
what do we
camera-
do about
besides
that?
the cameras in the hallway?
Well, we'll try to clean that up later. So what do you think about that door? We go in this one, we screw that one up. What happens? We get trapped inside, gassed, killed. What?
You hear Jammer on the other side. Just prop the other door open.
Okay.
You already
And
got your saxophone.
so it's just a normal door, right?
So this one, it's same thing as before. She's like, put the phone against the door.
Yep. Okay.
And
More noise.
same thing. Yeah, same thing that happened before. Just, click, 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 click. Opens that one too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great.
And it opens up to this, so you have two little clear doors that you can see all the banks inside. This kind of looks like the control room to have all the readouts of everything.
It's 40 degrees colder in here.
Yep, exactly.
All right. So we're looking for like networking stuff, like Damone knows what that is. But he's kind of counting on whoever built this probably labeled things. So let's look for something that indicates that floor and suite. Floor suite.
So it takes you some time, but eventually you find the stacks you're looking for.
Hey.
And in this one it says, networking, open up, floors, 25, 26, 27.
So Jammer, what do you think? Where should we plug this in for you?
And she suggests hidden as where you can't see it from outside.
Okay. So let's see if there's like a other exit. Oh yeah, there's a door on the back of this. Okay. Open that up and yep. Now you can get to the guts.
And she tells you where to stick it.
All right. Right there.
And, yep. And you hear go, connection's good. Leave.
You gonna do something about the camera footage and all that?
Already done.
Thank you. All right, everybody.
They're all watching episodes of Gilligan's Planet.
Let's go find a noodle shop.
But, everyone quickly gets in the elevator, and you're able to get back to the main level and get out fairly quickly. No one's really throwing any curious glances at you. And if you want to go to a noodle shop or a cafe, you can.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Bud is furiously texting the new business opportunity to his contacts at his company.
Yeah, Schlitz happens. You're seeing it on all the news feeds.
Yeah, there's already T-shirts on the ground when we go out.
Well, I got you down. Schlitz happens. God, that's probably the best line we've come up with yet. Schlitz happens. All right, so you can all lay low for a second to see if you need to stay near, but Jimmer says it, how she's making it sound is that everything's golden. It'll still take some time to process everything, but now that there's direct access, not really have to worry about firewalls as much. It's like, you're tapping in.
Well, all righty. We'll do our noodle shop thing for a while, and then if she's still working, you go about business.
So where's that one? Yes. That one noodle shop was right here outside that theater. Had the spicy stuff, all like that. So yeah, kind of hang out here. Some people were perusing.
I guess is sweating.
Yeah. Wiggin about immediately head to the noodle shop. It's just noodles. So, every now and then you hear, you check in on everything, and Jammer keeps saying, processing.
I gotta ask, what's with your new vocalization thing?
So, as you remember how it was before, Jammer's paraplegic.
Mm-hmm.
And she got around with a cyber chair, which had all of her cyber options on it to hard jack into stuff. And unfortunately, she got found out, had the quest to find Jammer. And you know, you're able to save her, and it really bothered Max that even though he thought he had done enough to protect her, she was still vulnerable. So she is actually at the bunker. There's a lower level. So at the drug lab, you know, there's that tube that the Netrunner your file had been connected into. Well, she's basically in one of those. So she's in, you know, fluid that's keeping her cooled down, you know, ice. And she's got,
tank.
yeah, pretty much. She's hooked up to, you know, oxygen, a feeding tube, everything like that. She's just floating in there. So, you know, she's secure in the bunker, but able to do everything from this tube.
Lud's always putting goldfish flakes in the top of it.
And gets a big net, scooping stuff out. But yeah, she's, you know, she's perfectly fine in there. I mean, she couldn't move to begin with, so to her, this is kind of a nice sensation. Just, you know,
Well, sure, but I mean, we were basically hearing a virtual avatar of her before.
Mhm.
You know, so she has changed her virtual avatar to be this robotic thing. You know, that's a choice she made.
yes.
So that was my question.
Need some more?
Oh, retro's in nowadays. I know these things. I'm a fashion guru.
Fashionista.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Schlitz. That's
He's
it.
like, yeah, he's like, Wig is like, I was retro before, it was cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she's just made this choice because I mean, she's hooked up to, you know, an oxygen mask, everything like that. She's like, well, might as well just sound more like an app than a person.
I don't dig it. You were never an app to us. But all right.
And she understands. It's just, as she's putting it, this is just a means to an end for now.
All right. Oh,
So,
yeah, we get it.
So in this night market, you know, people can shop around, find clothes and stuff, and get food. Xander, you are feeling off.
Okay.
In fact, you're seeing, you know, an old friend.
Well, you like noodles too?
Nope, just like fucking with you.
I can understand that.
You know,
Find out anything today?
so everyone you see, Xander's walking toward an empty bench, talking to himself, and Xander, the figure you're speaking to, goes, you know, it's just fun living rent free of that head of yours. And all of a sudden, to you, Xander, out of nowhere, almost like being blindsided, you see this figure show up in like Russia.
Okay. How is it prepped? Is it armed or?
Yeah, it's got a right shoulder and a handgun, full mask apparatus.
All right. All right.
So you do that. The guy goes poof to you.
Yeah.
The Smoky Man is cackling maniacally. To everyone else, in the night market, gunshots go off. Panic. To everyone that was watching Xander, you just see him quick draw, pop up to nothing. And scene. You know, what do y'all do?
Rush over towards Xander. Quickly, with the weapon out. Obviously, there's some threat. And then just see him standing there. What the hell happened?
Somebody was rushing me with a weapon. I turned and fired and it disappeared. Poof. Shooting at ghosts, I guess.
Poof.
Yeah, something ain't right. He puts the weapon away.
Look over at Jane.
I didn't see anything in there when I scanned him.
Well, maybe he needs another scan.
At least my
How you
reaction.
feeling? How you feeling?
Well, other than just a little wigged out that I was shooting at ghosts, I have no idea. I'm assuming I feel okay.
Lud finishes his noodles and said, "Those are great." Throws them on the ground, fires a round off in the air.
Yeah.
So 3D actually, steps away from Xander, cocks his head, and sits down here.
So, to you,
You know-
Xander, the smoking man is still there, but when the bone sits down, it's kind of like you see the stack outlines of the smoking man disappear where Damone sits. It's almost like a ghost sitting there the same place. You see them both.
Hmm.
There's, I probably have admitted to Jane of seeing the guy, but I said, he's back, and Dee's
Who's
sitting.
back?
And Dee's sitting on him, and no reaction.
What the hell? And D
Yeah,
stands up and looks around.
The smoking man takes a drag and goes, "They think you're crazy,"
You're probably right.
and you just hear Xander say that.
So wait. You're seeing somebody sitting there on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guy sitting on the bench. Can you hear me?
So does Xander? The guy looks at you, then that Dean goes, "Oh, this will be fun."
Oh, he says he does. I still think it's some sort of implant or something.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that.
Yeah.
His name, I don't know his name, but I call him Scorpius. But
Okay.
So you see him stand up, take a drag, and flick the cigarette out. Of course, it's not real.
Yeah.
And he walks to you, Xander, and goes, "You're never going to be rid of me." And that static kind of goes, and he, to you, disappears.
yeah, he's gone now. But I don't know if it's the after action stuff that triggers it. That seems to be when I see it most often.
Yeah, but we really didn't have any action today. None of your type.
No, still, I mean, when you calm down after being focused into something. Does that make sense? It's kind of like what you notice right before you go to sleep.
Hmm.
Just when you start clearing your mind. It's kind of like having tinnitus. You tend to ignore it until it's the only thing that's making any noise in your head.
Well, let me ask this. Do you see hallucinations when you're not also seeing him?
No, this is a recent development since the mind rape.
All right. Well, man, you had the self-control to realize that there might be something up. You put your weapon away yourself.
Well, the
You
thing
haven't
was,
got-
if it had been him rushing me, I wouldn't have thought anything. But it was the fact it was something else.
What I'm saying is, if you see him, you can't trust what else you see.
Right. Well,
You just have to remember that.
yeah, I realized that once the shot was fired and it disappeared, there was a construct he made. So there may still be access to it from a remote some way or another that we're not able to track.
All right. So, look over at Ludwig with his weapon out, this gleeful expression on his face, celebrating his noodles.
I made a sale, goddammit. Schlitz
We're-
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Let's kind of get out of here, and we'll hear from Jammer later.
All right, so everyone kind of acts
We're
up.
going to get back up to the scanner again. We'll be.
Yep. So, meanwhile, at the bunker.
And when we get a moment, I didn't want to say this in front of Xander, but Xander to Jane. Xander's talking like there's some sort of cyber tech in his head. You mentioned it, but could it be, cyber psychosis?
Well, it could be psychosis. I mean, cyber psychosis is specific to having is disassociation brought on by lots of cyberware.
Yeah, but at one point he did have lots of cyberware, all that stuff that drilled into his head. Just the fact that it's gone doesn't necessarily mean that the impact isn't lingering. Anyway, you're the med tech. I just know that he's not so far gone that he's not aware that there's something going on, and he might actually have the self-control to push through it. But where does that leave us? All right, we just got to wait on Jammer.
So, Max says, it's waiting game at this point. How quickly she's able to decipher it is it's all on her. All we can do is wait and hope we can figure out what's happening with Xander. And Max seems very concerned, and you can't tell if he's concerned that at some point Xander's going to snap and just start shooting at all y'all, or if what was done to him is permanent and he is actually coming from a place of, empathy and caring. Of course, Jane, you were scouring him, checking, what implants he has, what he doesn't have, scanning his head, scanning just about everything. It may not just be in his brain, it could be in his optical, nerves, everything. And the whole
My understanding,
time,
I haven't seen his character sheet. To my understanding, Xander didn't have any cyberware.
Not before this, and I did come out with something left. I just can't remember what it was.
and that's where you're trying to figure it out. So
They left me with some sort of jack.
and all the while, the whole time this is going on, Xander is kind of, it's like mood swings. He's fine, and he's like, I need to go out. I need to get out. Sometimes you hear a gunshot go off in the night because he's shooting at something. Eventually, with the equipment you have, because through kind of a favor from Max, you're able to actually get a full, this universe's version of, CAT scan, and actually look at every, single molecule in Xander's head. And you can see that there's something not quite right. Okay. Go lay down, buddy. Drink some more. In the medulla oblongata, there seems to be, it's very tiny, but there is something moving around, in a place where nothing should be moving.
Nope.
Like I said, it's tiny. Like the only reason you spot it is because it moved. And you don't really have the facility here to do a full-on, open brain surgery up in here. But you do know a guy.
I don't have the facilities to do that here.
So, Jane kind of relays the news to everyone else. Hey, I think I found out what it is. Bad news. We're going to have to go back into the city.
All right. Well,
go ahead.
That's all I was going to say. All right.
And we'll leave it on that.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it.
So,
I had a good day. New business venture. Boss at work's like, well done.
Good job.
Promotions.
Schlitz happens. There's your promotion.
Shit.
My parents had a bunch of mugs when I was a kid that had various like brewery type names on them. And I remember Schlitz was one of them.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just as a kid, I was like, "What the hell does that name mean?" You know, it's like,
Schlitz malt liquor.
Yeah, I like incorporating modern companies as a fusion of something in the future.
I can't imagine Milwaukee being one of the first places they moved.
It's probably the first place that was nuked.
Yeah.
Okay, so D&D next week. To spare Matthew. Matthew, are you going to be in the game? Or?
It depends. I can't imagine, it being more than a full day's work, normal full day's work, but still, we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Pegg, did your package come in?
Not yet.
I was curious. You didn't say. I didn't know.
I'm expecting it soon.
Okay.
The guy I ordered it from, unfortunately, had like a health scare.
Hmm.
But he's fine. He messaged me. But he's like, sorry. I was like, I'm just glad you're alive.
Yeah.
I don't even know you.
No big deal. I was just curious. I missed.
Is it me or is Chris's thing been a lot smoother to this night?
It's been very smooth.
It's been better. It's still, the flashes are still happening, but not the same duration. Some of that is a result of that new router. But when we first connected it, I had a blue upstream light. Now I do not. After we gamed at one time, I'm still getting little burps, and I've seen my icon flash off of Roll20 a couple of times, but came right back up. It didn't really give me a red banner warning or anything like I have gotten. So it is better, but it's still not alleviated. It hasn't been lingering enough to trigger the no internet symbol on my desktop tonight, however, though. But I also have fewer people in the house. Nobody's watching TV tonight. There's only one telephone on the network other than what we're doing right now. So it's less than it has been on most nights. When last we played, we had all the kids here and they all had their phones out and they were all watching something, and it was pretty skippy. But it has been better, and I appreciate the router. That was certainly a help. It just hasn't stopped it. But we have determined that it's somewhere between here and there, but we shall see. I'll take what I can get.
Okay.
Like I said, I had heard a rumor that they had extended fiber out this way. I was just going to see if it actually did. And I haven't had an opportunity to check.
I looked at the FPU site. They didn't even mention fiber as one of their options.
Yeah, I was about to say I switched to fiber last Saturday. I'm pretty happy with it.
Really helps when you go to the bathroom.
What's funny was they had been claiming that the fiber was already connected to the house. I'm like, well, I don't see your little box that would be inside the house. I'm like, I call BS, and I just got so tired of Xfinity in the area just dropping like crazy in the afternoon. I just finally broke down and said, hey, why don't you come out and take a look? And sure enough, I had it. It was just buried in the wall. So the people that renovated just like, I don't like that ugly box, took the box off and shoved the fiber optic cable in the wall.
Yikes.
It's like, oh, great.
Did you move recently?
No, I'll have been in this house 3 years in March. But when I moved here, it was like, beginning of lock everything down and only essential workers. I couldn't get I couldn't get a AT&T out for like months. It wasn't even weeks. I was like, well, I got little ones that will rebel if they can't stream Bluey or anything. So Xfinity's like, oh yeah, I got a guy who'll be out there today. Like they couldn't care less. So I'm like, all right, you win it. It's just been their constant because some nights are good, some nights are bad with Xfinity out here because I'm in the middle of the city next to the university. So a good Saturday night, I'll get that little red bar on Roll20 sometimes. The little notification on here is like, "Oh, your network's bad." So, but yeah, I switched everything last Saturday, and I'm quite happy with it.
Or your broadcast quality is better. Your image quality is better.
Yeah, I've been noticing that on here as well, and I'm not dropping as much audio hearing y'all either.
So that's cool.
So.
But it has been better tonight. So
Well,
I
I'm
guess
glad things are improving.
Yeah, now I just need groceries, the price for that to go down, and all will be complete. Yeah, we're definitely feeling it.
Oh, yeah.
Four kids to feed. But yikes!
You could just feed 3 and let them fight and figure out who gets to be left out every day.
I almost wanted to introduce the kids to MREs and be like, hey, want to know how long you make one of these last? Forever, because you want to eat.
Yeah.
You'd rather starve than eat this.
Spam, stewed tomatoes, and double mint gum. There you go.
I don't know. Some of them are all right.
There's a chili mag's always a good one. The worst thing they did was they used to come with Tabasco. They got rid of the Tabasco.
I remember being so hungry. We ate every little thing, including the Tabasco, including the instant ground coffee. Even if we didn't have anything to put it in, we just every single edible piece got ate.
We had a guy. His big thing was if it came with electrolyte powder, he would literally just take it dry. It was almost like watching someone do the cinnamon challenge because he'd be like, just dust. It's
Yeah,
like,
there was
man,
something set on fire in those. I'm trying to remember what it was.
I think it's like if you put too much water in the heater, shook it up enough and tighten it up, it would explode.
No, we did this on purpose. It's like something that was a powdery substance, and we would open it and shake it out with a lighter, and it would explode.
I think.
I'm trying to remember. It wasn't the coffee. It was something else.
Well, it might have been the electrolyte powder
Maybe.
because
It was the creamer. The creamer will
Yes, it
yeah,
will.
that's what
It will.
Yeah.
Yeah, you eat this stuff, and then later on, you're like, "Yeah, I regret that, but God, it was so good at the time." When you're starving, you'll eat anything, even kibble.
All right. Well, be well, all.
Yeah. Y'all have a good night.
Yep. There you
Yeah.
go. See you Monday.
Take care, everybody. Good evening.
Good night, y'all.